Have you ever pondered on the concept of power in international relations and how it shapes the world? Let's dive into this fascinating topic. Power is critical in the sphere of international relations. It's the currency that nations trade in, whether they're negotiating trade deals, forming alliances, or even when tensions escalate to the brink of conflict. Power, in essence, is the ability to influence others to do what they might not have done otherwise. This influence can take many forms. It could be through military might, economic leverage, or the soft power of cultural attraction and persuasion. Each of these types of power plays a unique role in shaping the dynamics between nations. The element of power is so pervasive and influential that it's nearly impossible to study international relations without considering it. It influences everything from the decisions made in the United Nations chambers to the outcomes of negotiations at global summits. Power dynamics can determine who gets heard, who gets their way, and ultimately, who gets to shape the world order. But power is not a monolith. It's not just about who has the most tanks or the biggest economy. Power in international relations is a complex, multifaceted concept. It varies in form and function, depending on context and perspective. It's not just about physical resources, but also about ideas, innovation, and influence. So when we talk about power in international relations, we're talking about a concept that transcends borders, cultures, and systems. It's a concept that is as complex as the world it shapes, and as diverse as the nations it impacts. In the realm of international relations, power is not a one-dimensional concept, but rather a multifaceted one. Let's delve into the two most commonly recognized types of power in international relations: hard power and soft power. First, we have hard power. This is the classic form of power that most people are familiar with. It's the ability to coerce or persuade others to do your bidding through the threat or use of military might or economic sanctions. This raw form of power is often exhibited in the form of military interventions, economic sanctions, or trade embargoes. Think of the Cold War era, where the United States and the Soviet Union showcased their military might to influence global politics, or more recent instances where economic sanctions have been used to pressure countries into changing their policies. Now let's contrast this with soft power. Instead of coercion, soft power relies on attraction and persuasion. It's all about winning hearts and minds. This power is derived from a country's culture, political values, and foreign policies that are seen as legitimate and morally correct. A great example of soft power in action is the global influence of American culture, from Hollywood movies to fast food chains, which has helped shape perceptions of the United States around the world. Similarly, the European Union's commitment to human rights, democracy, and rule of law has attracted many countries to align themselves with its values. It's important to note that both hard and soft power have their strengths and weaknesses. While hard power can yield immediate results, it can also lead to resentment and backlash. Soft power, on the other hand, can be more enduring and positive, but it takes time to cultivate, and its effects can be hard to measure. In the world of international relations, countries often use a mix of hard and soft power, depending on the situation. It's not an either-or choice, but rather a spectrum where the balance of hard and soft power shifts depending on the circumstances. Hard and soft power are the two faces of the currency of power in international relations, each with its unique strengths and weaknesses. Beyond hard and soft power, there exist other dimensions of power like smart power and structural power. Let's first dive into the concept of smart power. It's a term coined by Joseph Nye, the same scholar who gave us the theory of soft power. Smart power is essentially a combination of both hard and soft power. It's kind of like a diplomatic Swiss Army knife, if you will. It's the ability to strategically combine these two types of power to achieve a goal, using force when necessary, but also persuasion, attraction, and negotiation. For instance, consider the United Nations peacekeeping efforts. They use force to maintain peace, but also rely heavily on negotiation and diplomacy. That's smart power in action. Now, let's shift gears and talk about structural power. This is a more nuanced form of power. It's not about direct control or influence over others, but rather about shaping the very structures and systems within which global politics operate. It's the power to decide how things work, what gets valued, and who benefits. Picture a game of chess. Structural power is not about moving the pieces on the board, it's about setting the rules of the game in the first place. Take, for example, the International Monetary Fund, or IMF. The IMF doesn't control countries directly. Instead, it sets rules for global finance and trade. Countries need to follow these rules if they want to participate in the global economy. That's structural power at play. To sum up, smart power is about combining hard and soft power strategically, while structural power is about shaping the rules of the game. Both are crucial aspects of power in international relations. They show us that power is not just about control, but also about strategy, negotiation, and the design of systems and structures. Smart and structural power further complicate our understanding of power, reminding us of the intricacies of international relations. Power, as we've seen, is a complex and multifaceted concept in international relations. We've journeyed through the realms of hard power, where coercion and force often reign supreme, and soft power, where influence is leveraged through attraction and persuasion. We've ventured into the dynamic world of smart power, a strategic fusion of hard and soft power, allowing nations to adeptly navigate the international stage. And we've delved into the depths of structural power, the undercurrent that shapes the rules of the game in the global arena. Remember, these dimensions of power are not standalone entities. They interact, overlap, and sometimes clash, creating the intricate web of international relations we see today. Grasping these concepts is key to unraveling the complex dynamics at play in our global community. By understanding the various dimensions of power, we can better decipher the intricate dance of international relations, where nations constantly vie for influence and control. Thank you for attending today's session. Don't forget to subscribe and share the lecture. Stay tuned for more interesting topics. Until next time, goodbye.